I'm Catherine Best, one of the judges here on the beautiful Bellarine Peninsula for Caravan of the Year 2024, sponsored by MSA 4x4. I'm standing in front of the Wonderland XTR 2211. This is the Rolls-Royce of family caravans, designed for travelling families who love getting off-road and off-grid for extended periods. She's got all the off-grid capability you need, and she's just a little bit special inside as well. Let's go check her out.
With a length of 7 metres or 23 feet, the Wonderland XTR 2211 is a big van. It has plenty of living space. Up front there's a full width bed and L-shaped dinettes. In the rear bedroom there are 2 bunks, both of which have drawers underneath, and a cafe dinette designed especially for the kids. It's a very interesting layout which no doubt suit quite a few families. There's a full width bathroom down the rear, so the van is fully equipped. It's a big van, a big layout. This one is quite functional.
Wonderland are quick to jump on worthwhile innovation, so it's no surprise that they chose the revolutionary CRZR suspension and chassis, and it suits it really well. We've also touched on the electronics, and let's just say that it's really electric thinking that's gone into this. Getting away into the bush is going to be a real pleasure with that amount of power on tap. But for me, the most innovative part of the van is the kids' central bedroom, which can be used in so many different layouts. In this van, it's a double bunk with a dinette opposites, but it also means that in a different sort of layout, you could have up to 6 bunks by having bunks on both sides. But for a travelling couple, this central area would make an absolutely fantastic office. I think it's a really good idea.
I don't think you could find a more rigid way of building a caravan than the interlocking system that Wonderland uses. They start with a 19mm structural ply wall, a 17mm honeycomb floor, and a 36mm composite roof. And all of that interlocks together through notches, including into the internal cabinetry. It provides an exceptionally rigid body that still allows the needed small amounts of flex. On the outside is a 3mm Dibond cladding, which looks sensational. Behind that, in CNC pockets, is foam insulation to reduce sound and of course keep temperatures more in control. Now this chassis comes from Cruiser Industries in Shepparton. There are gussets welded underneath where needed, and these gussets are dimple pressed to add yet more strength without much weight. The suspension under this is reminiscent of a 70 series Land Cruiser with radius arms and a panhard bar to locate a solid axle. It even has an anti-roll bar. The list of appliances stand out too. There is the top of the line AC from Dometic, the biggest and best fridge you can find, but the star of the show is that 6,000 watt 100 amp inverter charger combo. That thing could restart the sun. It has so much power.
The Wonderland RV is a premium build and comes with a premium price tag. It will set you back $250,000, but as the owners say, they put the best in and the best costs money. It's also a large van at a touch under 23 foot. So what do you get for your money? A heavy-duty Australian-built chassis, a cleverly installed behind-fridge Victron power system, and impeccable finishes, right down to the custom linen included in the price tag. For the money, this is a van you want to use more than once a term during school holidays. It's designed for families doing the big lap and living in their caravan full-time. As such, it has dual kids and parents living zones, indoor and outdoor kitchens, and an abundance of storage, including an underbed compartment that's also accessible from an outdoor hatch. With 800 amp hours of battery power, an Ogo composting toilet, and a whopping 340 litres of water, the Wonderland does not fall short. It's possible you'll run out of food before anything else.
Wonderland RV certainly do things in style. It has a lithium battery capacity of 200 amp hours, which doesn't sound much, except of course they're 48 volt batteries, which means you get an equivalent of 800 amp hours at 12 volt. That's enough to run anything you could possibly consider. In addition to that, there's a 6,000 watt inverter, and you can virtually run anything electrical off that your little heart desires. Solar panel capacity is very impressive too. And a feature I really liked in this van is the Victron electrical panel, where the inverter and the charger and everything else are built in. There's 240 litres of water in the freshwater tanks. There's a 100 litre drinking water tank, and there's just a 100 litre grey tank. It certainly gives you the capacity for extended stays. There's a compost toilet, which eliminates the cassette problem, and there's an Eberspascher hot water service, which also acts as a room heater as well. No problem, the 2211 is very well equipped for self-sufficiency.
This is no lightweight. When it's empty, it's 3,600 kilograms, and fully loaded, it can get up to 4.5 tons. So you need a small truck or one of those big American utes. We towed it with Kevin's modified Ram 2500 with suspension upgrades, and it handled the van perfectly, really. It does take a fair bit of getting used to if you've never driven such a big van. That said, once you're moving, it's an armchair ride. And you just sit back and let the big, slow revving engine eat up the miles. The van towed exceptionally smoothly on the CRZR suspension, felt rock steady behind us, with no sway, no banging. And when we needed them, the 12-inch brakes pulled us up efficiently.
Now, the warranty offered by Wonderland is 3 years on the structure they provide, and then OE warranties on things like the appliances. There are some limitations in the warranty, and they make sense. For instance, water crossings are limited to the height of the floor. Any further and you may damage the walls with water ingress. For the rest, the supplied warranty document is easy to read and logical, but as a buyer, I would have confidence in the warranty supplied by Wonderland. This van is set up with a second lounge opposite the kids' bunks, making it a family van obviously. But I look at it and all I can see is the dream off-road, semi-retired or working on the road van. It is so close. Pull the bunks out, put in some more storage, and that second lounge becomes an office on the road. I reckon it could be a real hit.